We are looking at the fruit of hard work and analyzing this prompt. So at the end of the passage, the king says to Rondam, "You shall be the royal tutor and teach my sons all you know." Write an essay analyzing the reason why the king wants Rondam to be the royal tutor. Use evidence from your passage to support your response. So we already worked out that we need to have title, author, genre, The Fruit of Hard Work, an Indian folktale by Deepa R. Gwal, is about a king who learns that you have to work for money and nothing comes freely. Or we also said that the summary could have said is about how poor Rondam gained what they needed by teaching the king. Either would work because this summary is just a very brief statement. Both things are true. It's just focusing a little bit differently on characters. And the claim is the king wants Rondam to be the royal tutor because he is wise. So now what we need to do, today's goal, is to take these things that we have highlighted in the text and decide how we want to use the graphic organizer to figure out our body paragraphs. So the vocab should be keywords either from the story or related to the prompt. So when I'm looking here, so the reasons why the king wants him to be the tutor. So I could go, reasons, tutor, king, those are all things that I could use, that I could focus on. So let's say king and tutor to start off. Maybe I want to focus on what Rondam has to teach. So I can make sure that I'm focusing on, was that an N or an M? N, Bon. Okay. And how, what is it that he does that shows that he is wise? And maybe my last paragraph, just thinking about it. So why does the king need a tutor? What is it that makes him wise? And then a third thing. And again, these are paragraphs that I'm choosing. They do not have to be the same three things that your paragraph is focusing on. But this is just an example when you get done for you to check and say, okay, am I on the right track? Am I filling out this graphic organizer the way that I was taught to help make sure? Because the way that this is set up is just to help you make sure that you have all of the elements that are looked for in this specific type of writing. And it is a very particular, formal way of organizing everything. So this would be maybe lessons. Maybe I want to talk about what he taught, how it was learned, and maybe that lesson is about hard work and value. So these are all things that I could possibly focus on for my final thing. In terms of transition phrase, I need to wait to find out what evidence am I going to use. So why does the king need a tutor? I think that if we go and look here, and the one group picked out this last paragraph and the other group didn't. So I'm going to highlight this too. That the king is saying kings don't sweat to earn money like ordinary people. The fact that he had to ask, earned? Okay, so I think I'm going to put that, why does the king need something? And I want to go to that earned. And what, for me to be able to go back and look at that, I know that that was on slide 11. So I'm actually going to put that before here so that later on I can go back to it when I'm forming my actual paragraph. Besides that, I think I want to go to 12. So then what happened? Right here, I think I want to focus on get money that I've earned by my own labor. So I'm just going to put in get money that, so this is slide 12. Get money that. And you know what? I'm going to put the 3 dots before this because it was in the middle that in the middle of the sentence that I pulled that from. And I want to go back to slide 12 and see if maybe there's possibly a third thing right here. The king had never. And yeah, I think the king had never. I'm going to use this one right here on slide 12. The king had never. So there's our 3 text evidences. And I would say that this is kind of, so transition phrase, those were early in the story. So I would say in the, it's not really the beginning though. So maybe when they meet. When they meet in the story, the king says, comma. So that phrase right there, says, there should be an S there for subject verb agreement. Then that would pull me into the first one. Would I use other transition phrases for the other ones? Yes. But this right here, this is showing me where I got this from the story. So then if I want to go to here, and you know what, I might take tutor out of here, and I might put it down here. Because then that's where I'm going to get to him. So how did Rondam show that he was wise? He actually showed that earlier in the story, but the king didn't learn it yet. So one of the things, like, what did he stand for? He stood for not taking what isn't yours. So this could be at the beginning of the story. So slide 10, Rondam frowned. And please note that some of these things are things that were said, like that earned. I would actually put in the apostrophes because he actually said this. But these other things are just in the story and not. So you might need to change the size and some of the font on these for things to fit. I'm seeing that. So he frowned because then he was talking about how he wouldn't take the money. And then what he does when he meets the king. The fact that he says he'll only accept if it's by his honest work. So I'll put that he thought on slide 11 right there at the top. And I would say as you're putting these together, some of these things you might end up putting in your own words instead of direct quotes, but you need to have a direct quote in each of these body paragraphs. You could have more than one direct quote, and you can also have paraphrasing, but you need at least one. And I think in terms of then what he actually says, I would go back to slide. So, I think I would go to slide 11 and I'd use this. Have you earned? I think I would start here in terms of what I'd actually include. Have you earned this money by the sweat of your brow? So have you earned, slide 11. Have you earned? Okay, so the transition phrase is maybe in the Beginning of this folktale. I could use folktale. And then I could use these additional things. So that lets me know where that came from in the story. And then moving down here in terms of my next set of evidence, I wanted to look at like what was the lesson that was learned. And so here, I think I would go for the pearls, musical, and that you gave me those coins in charity. It was money that you earned from your own honest labor. I think those are the things. Oh, and do you know what else? You are truly the wisest man in my kingdom. I might put that. Now I think maybe I put that down here too. Okay, so I might go with slide 15. There's just a lot of good things to add in here. Slide 15. Pearls. Oh, slid. Slide 15 where he says, you gave me, it was money. Maybe you gave me, yeah, I think I'd start with you gave me those coins. So again, a second one to show that he's talking. You gave me those coins. I would use more of that. And then in the end where the king says, you are truly the wisest. Okay, so now I have that, but this would be then at the end of the story, at the end of the folktale.